Jacob be flexing crew. All right, we fixed the audio. Okay, there was an issue last stream. And since it was a music stream, that is kind of a major issue. But now, should be fixed. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now let's. Whoa. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, now let's. Yeah. Jacob be flexing crew. Make sure to subscribe. Hi, bro, where are you? I'm at my place. My humble abode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I need all of you along for the journey. My name is Jacob B. Flexen. Nice to meet you. All right? Listen, I like to hang out with my subscribers, motivate them, talk to them, and just, in general, just be a friend. Be a friend to each and every one of you, and for y'all to be a friend to me, that's my biggest dream. There once was a ship that was put to sea. There once was a ship that was put to sea, and to be. What's your country? My country is Turkey. Turkey, huh? Okay, cool. United States of America. Here, let me show you. Well, the American flag kind of showed right there. Okay. Yeah, okay, now. Yeah, okay. We will beat you in the World Cup. I don't really follow that. I don't follow football or soccer very much, but listen. Listen, I hope you do. I hope you do. I hope you do beat us, all right? Y'all are going to do excellently. Listen, everyone here, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. We have successfully reached 1,400 subscribers. And I am I'm in shock. I'm in shock that 1,400 people care. But listen, I definitely care about all my 1,400 people. That's for sure. They're a blessing. Please, join the crew today. Jacob B. Flexing Crew. I need you all along for the journey. And listen, leave a like if you're in a good mood today. Leave a like for good vibes. Yeah, okay now. Listen, but you want to do a freedom competition? Because the United States beats Turkey every time. USA is going to beat everyone in the freedom competition, all right? We're free as could be. Light as a feather, free as a bird, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's dun 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 up. Okay, now let's maybe take up the harmonica. Yes, I need that, dude. I need a harmonica. Spooky Knuckles, listen. Yeah, so I can do harmonica and the guitar at the same time. Absolutely. Jacob B. Flexing Crew. Be right back, y'all. Be right back. All right. Maybe take up the harmonica. I can't tell if you're roasting me or just giving me good advice. Ba 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 ba. Nice, nice, nice. How are we doing, everybody? Man, bro, I'm exhausted, man. Let's go. Look, you don't want to mess with me. Do you see this? You see this? It makes me dangerous. All right, enough of the flexing. Jacob B. Flexing does enough of that, I assure you. Ooh. Then we go to D minor. A minor, now back in A minor. A minor. And then you go to D minor. And then we go to G. And then we're back to A minor. Okay, now yeah, A minor. And then we switch to D minor. To a G. And back to A minor. Okay, yeah. Okay, A minor. D minor. And G. And back to A minor. Okay, now go to A minor. And then switch to D minor. And then G. And back to A minor. A minor. D minor. And G. And now we're back to A minor. Yeah, A minor. D minor. And G. Now we're back to A minor. Yeah. Woo! Dang, I got a lot of practice in. That was awesome. How are we doing, Jacob B. Flexing crew? Listen, make sure to leave a like and please do subscribe to the channel. I like to live stream almost every day. I try my best to. Okay, I take some breaks every now and then, but please. I'm going to really kick it into gear here soon. I have big goals for my YouTube channel, and I want to take all my flexors with me. I want y'all to see the whole journey. All right? So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. Listen, sound off in the chat. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. So introduce yourself in the chat. Introduce yourself in the chat, everybody. Sound off in the chat, Jacob B. Flexing crew. I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you. I do not know what to do, Flexing crew. What should we do? We have the whole day ahead of us, okay? We can stream all day. We can. You know what? We should wherever the wind takes us, I'm gonna fly there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fly with the wind. Gone with the wind if you're cultured. Let's see here. I could react to the Danny Mullen interview. There's a Danny Mullen interview about ghosts, demons, and spirituality, Christianity. And I've always wanted Danny to go towards the Lord, okay? He needs a little God in his life, as we all do. But I watched part of the interview. He said he read the Gospels and they helped him with his anxiety. So I think he's a believer, you know? So he believes. So amen. Amen to that.
Danny Mullen, legendary YouTuber, skateboarder, documentary filmmaker. Yeah. You also have some paranormal experiences.
We do. We went to the Myrtles plantation on Halloween in 2022. I guess you could call me probably mostly agnostic with respect to ghosts. If you would have asked me before that trip if I believed in them, I probably would have been like, nah, not really. But I mean, I guess I'm not sure how you want to go through this, but after that experience, I'll say that I don't feel comfortable around haunted stuff anymore.
Really?
No. There's a fan of our channel. Her name's Sandrine, who is her lovely girl. She's really into spells and potions.
Okay, so he's talking about Sandrine.
From the Christian side now, though. But
And there was one.
but she what was that?
I didn't know there was a Christian side of spells.
Well, I think she was like a spell girl.
Oh, but now
without
she's
God.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, and she was jealous of my ex-girlfriend and like wanted to be with me, the spell girl / Christian girl, and so she would threaten to put spells on my ex, and my ex like did not like it. Like my ex, the spell girl could have threatened her to a fight or challenged her to a fight. Could have posted all kind out on the internet, anything but the spells. My ex just hated that. So thankfully, I don't think she cast anything on me. She probably tried to put a love spell on me, but so far, not totally feeling the effects.
Man, when I first moved to LA, I moved here to be an actor. Like, I'm not even gonna say how many years ago. This girl, we lived in this like artist compound of actors and musicians.
That's the best.
Oh, dude, it was actually pretty fun.
Everybody's got a moving to LA with a roommate story.
Oh, dude, this chick, man. I would say rest in peace. She's no longer with us, but I think she's probably in hell. And her of all people.
Really?
Yeah. Basically, what happened was
He can't judge who goes where.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know.
What was she doing?
Well, she cast a spell on me, and I didn't even believe in it until probably 7 of my cars got crashed, even when I wasn't in them. Even when like I took one to a mechanic, I told the mechanic, like this girl put a spell on my cars, I think, because I just keep having like people hit my car when it's parked, or I get in an accident in like some crazy way.
Did she say that was the nature of the spell?
No, but we like saw her doing, I think they call it 𝓀𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, where like they cut off the chicken's head. We saw it.
This is evil, bro.
And the person who saw it with me was kind of scary. Him and I were walking. I didn't want to lose my parking spot. We were walking to the corner store, and he's also now dead, which is kind of scary. Yeah, they're both now passed away. Super weird. But he was walking.
Don't move to Hollywood, kids.
Don't move to Hollywood. But yeah, so she put a spell on me, I think, because like every single car.
So, thankfully, I don't think she cast anything on me. She probably tried to put a love spell on me, but so far, not totally feeling the effects.
Man, when I first moved to LA, I moved here to be an actor. Like, I'm not even gonna say how many years ago. This girl, we lived in this like artist compound of actors and musicians.
That's the best.
Oh, dude, it was actually pretty fun.
Everybody's got a moving to LA with a roommate story.
Oh,
It's fun.
dude, this chick, man, I would say rest in peace. She's no longer with us, but I think she's probably in hell. Like her of all people.
Nah,
Really?
Yeah. Basically, what happened was
Better
me.
or worse?
God's the only one who can decide who goes where. Okay, don't speak for him. He doesn't quite like that. All right. I know I'm speaking for him right now, but look, I'm Jacob 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼. Okay, that's why. All right, let's go.
Than John Wayne Gacy.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know.
What was she doing?
Well, she cast a spell on me, and I didn't believe in it until probably 7 of my cars got crashed, even when I wasn't in them. Even when, like, I took one to a mechanic. I told the mechanic, I was like, this guy
Let me guess.
or this girl put a spell on my cars.
Bruh, at a certain point, you just got to realize you're a bad driver. You're trash at driving and you're trash at parking. You park in the most dangerous spots and you drive like an idiot. Just kidding. I mean, but seriously, though, come on, man. 7 cars? 7 cars. You don't even look like you've been driving for 7 years. What do you mean 7 cars? Bruh. You got to be probably one of the worst drivers on this entire planet to have 7 cars become totaled. I mean, really, you just need a chauffeur, bruh. You should never touch the wheel ever again, to be honest, but whatever.
I think because I just keep having like people hit my car when it's parked, or I get in an accident in like some crazy way.
Did she say that was the nature of the spell?
No, but we like saw her doing, I think they call it Sandrine, where like they cut off the chicken, the chicken's head.
Nope.
We saw this outside of the compound. And the person who saw it with me was kind of scary.
Christ.
Him and I were walking to I didn't want to lose my parking spot. We were walking to the corner store, and he's also now dead, which is kind of scary. Yeah, they're both now passed away. Super weird. But he was walking with me.
Don't move to Hollywood, kids.
Don't move to Hollywood. Don't move to Hollywood. But yeah, so she put a spell on me, I think, because like every single car that I had, even when I took it to the mechanic, I told him about it, and then he was just like, yeah, dude, I think that chick might have actually put a spell on you, because when they finally got it fixed, they were out on a test drive, and some old lady hit the car, sideswiped the car.
How about go to a priest and ask him about it? I don't think a mechanic is going to be able to bless you, brother. I think that's a priestly problem you might want to bring up to your father. Like, straight up, man. Well, why would you tell that to the mechanic? The mechanic's just going to be like, yep, a spirit got your car. It got the exhaust, it got the engine, it got the transmission, it got the tailpipe, it got the engine mount, it got the headlights. You're going to have to pay a lot of money. But thank goodness you came to me, because I can despiritify all of those components for around $15,000. Fork it over.
While they were on the test drive, after they just fixed my car, the mechanic.
Wow.
So I think spells are, the idea is ridiculous, but that was just where it's like the point where it's like, okay, maybe there's something to that.
So she was an animal abuser.
Yeah.
That's definitely a black eye on her record.
So she's no longer with us.
How'd she die, just out of curiosity? Not that I'm rooting for that, but like, how did she die?
I think I heard she drug overdosed. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's not much happiness, and just if you're just constantly thinking about the worst or bad things happening to people around you, that's not like a good recipe for
trying to
making
advertise
you
on my
feel
stream.
better. In fact,
Hey,
Yeah.
it's
hey, you punk. Don't ever advertise buying viewers? You want me to view bot? You want me to buy viewers from you? Has this ever worked? I genuinely wonder, has this ever worked for you, brother? Have you ever actually typed into someone's live stream and sold them a bot? How much? Okay, listen, maybe I will buy some. How much is it for 5 viewers, huh? 5 loyal viewers that always show up. How much money is it for 5 bots, huh? Let's negotiate. Let's negotiate if you're actually serious about this sales thing.
guy who's a Christian, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins probably gets brought up a lot in this podcast studio. I feel like whenever there's a big market for people trying to be self-help influencers. But Tony Robbins was talking about, in a podcast I was listening yesterday, about how tithing, the idea of giving away 10 or 15% of your income, which the Muslims do it, Christians do it, It maybe more religions do, but I just know they do for sure. He was talking about how people he knows that tithe large amounts of money are the most successful people he knows. And when he started tithing that amount, his net worth exploded.
Wow.
And that's kind of the idea behind it, is that giving away money to people in need, it's not a direct thing where I give a junkie on Hollywood Boulevard $100, then he gets his act together and he becomes a businessman, and him and I produce a YouTube show together in the future. It's not literal like that. The idea is you're putting out good energy into the universe that's going to come.
Well, you can never know God's plan. God's plan is twisty, turny, full of cliffhangers, full of surprises, full of wonder. And you'll never exactly know where it will take you, but you just got to thank him that, he's taking you there, because, man, we are blessed. We are blessed. And I really do hope Danny Mullen is becoming a Christian, because he's starting to embody those Christian values. And I think that'd be amazing for him. Me personally, I'm a Catholic. I'd like it if he became a Catholic. And Leo DeTavio, I wish he'd practice a little more, but listen, you can't throw rocks from a glass house. Okay. Never a good idea. Okay.
Come back to you in some way. He says often it hits you in the back of the head. It comes from a completely unrelated direction than to where you gave the money. But on the other side of that coin, if you are trying to cast spells on people and can cast negative energy, that's all going to come right back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, she was like, I remember we were sitting in the back. I used to smoke cigars, and we had like a backyard.
You douche.
I
That's
know.
why.
That was why.
You were too douchey.
I was, dude. I'd like work out in the yard, like me and my other friends that live
You
there.
have quite a nice physique. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny. You could see it through the...
Oh, dude.
check it
That
out.
was too much for a Santeria practicing
Buttering him up.
yeah.
Buttering him up.
far left girl. It's too much.
Flexing crew.
Too
See,
much.
I remember asking her, because I was like, really trying to be like a movie star at the time. And I remember I like asked her, because she was talking to her friend in the backyard. I'm smoking my cigar. And, and she was like talking about how she was doing all these spells and these witchcraft stuff. And I was just like, are there any spells, just out of curiosity to see what she would say. I was like, are there any spells that could like make someone really successful, like in the movie industry or something like this,
You don't
And then
want
she was from England. She's like, no, I just know how to hurt people or something like that. That was her only interest.
Black magic
Black
exclusively.
magic. Sadist.
She's could have been in league with Voldemort. That English accent.
Dude, literally.
Yeah, she could have been one of the I don't even remember what his... I love Harry Potter, but I can't remember what his inner circle was called. Do you get down with Harry Potter?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like that's the necessary foundation for a good paranormal investigator. It's like one of their Bibles.
It's I've never read the books.
They're better than the movies.
Really?
They're way better than the movies.
You've read the books.
Oh, yeah. Is that hard to believe?
That is hard to believe.
Well, I'm also older than people think I am. So
I know. I looked it up. I was really shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when I'm 36, so that doesn't have to be a secret. But when those came out, like I mean, the first three my dad had to read to me because I was too young. So they did come out a long ass time ago. But yeah, bro, I am not a fan of the movies. I think they completely botched the books I loved.
Really?
Dude, the books were so good. My life, when, say, the middle book came out, consisted of riding BMX bikes, doorbell ditching, lighting bags of fire on people's doorsteps. Like that kind of teenage life. And the idea that a book could come out and make me give up all the mischief for 2 weeks while I sat at home reading, that's crazy. And J.K. Rowling deserves so much credit for getting shithead prepubescent boys to sit down and read.
Yeah,
that is a crazy accomplishment. It is a testament to how good those things are.
The origin of Danny Mullen, which is interesting too. Like, have you always been this kind of off the rails with the?
This guy does not know anything about Danny Mullen lore. I should be the one interviewing. I could interview Danny way better. All right, Danny Mullen, this is Jacob B. Flexen from the Jacob B. Flexen crew. If you see this, maybe one day I'd like to interview you on live stream, whatever it may be. But I actually have some hard-hitting questions. I know the lore. I know the Danny Mullen regime. I know the crew members. I know the podcast. I know everything that's happened. Listen, I can do an excellent interview for the people, the Danny Mullen crew, and all the fans. So listen, maybe one day we can collab. But I've been to your comedy shows, love it, big fan. And I'm happy that you're stepping into the Christian side of things. I think that's amazing. It's literally a blessing. It really is. Now let's continue.
Content, like pushing the boundaries, pushing the envelope.
Yeah, bro. Like I grew up with stable 2-parent household, kind of typical, like with your parents want to give you more than they had when they were kids, so kind of got spoiled. Not that my parents were wealthy. I mean, my dad made like 180 grand a year, which is good money.
Solid.
Yeah. My mom made like a teacher's salary, probably 60, so totally middle class and comfortable. And like they would just spoil my sister and I. So like I just didn't really have any hardship.
Is that middle class?
And I didn't see any reason to apply myself to studies or school.
No,
it was
that's
just
a little
how can
tougher. That's a little
we
higher.
live for the moment and have fun and just like pure hedonism. But then as I got into my 20s, I started like realizing, holy shit, unless you want to work in a restaurant the rest of your life, you better get good at something and focus. Or I had that realization earlier, like in my late teens. And so that led to YouTube. But still, I had that spirit of freedom from when I was a kid, when it was all about just causing mayhem and mischief and not answering to anybody because grades didn't matter, school didn't matter. My mom was going to go soft on me and not actually hold me accountable for anything I did. And I also worshipped Howard Stern, who in his prime was like a colossal asshole. So I guess that was like the origin of my channel. And I do regret some of the stuff we did in the early days.
Sure.
Which, again, for people who saw the bit that happened when I walked in here before the cameras fired up, they're going to have a hard time believing that. But there's a difference between being edgy and being mean to people.
Right.
And when I started the channel, I was like mean to people all the time in the streets. And that started to take a toll on me.
Yeah.
And I try to avoid that now. You can bust balls, and some people get upset when you bust their balls and they can't take a joke, and there's nothing you can do about
What I
that.
like about Danny Mullen and his comedy is, especially his recent comedy, he is very endearing towards people. First, he does shock value. He shock values them. Then he does a switcheroo type thing where the joke, kind of like it wasn't what you expected, and so it's a little comedic, or it's clever. He says something clever, comedic in the switcheroo, and then he wins them over. So it's like, first, shock them. Step 1, offend with shock value. Step 2, do the switcheroo. Step 3, win them over. And it seems that a lot of people that Danny interacts with, Danny and Leo both, that is the pattern and the formula that is working for them. It's wholesome. It really is.
But I don't like being outright cruel anymore.
No, of course. Yeah, no, you don't come off that way at all. It's just, I think some people, maybe they understand the humor, some people don't. And teach their own, but that's interesting though. That I really didn't know your dad was a judge, and like, what did he think about when you started doing YouTube?
He was pretty open-minded, a little nervous, but like anything, he just once it started to work, he came around. I remember the first time I ever heard, here was the turning point. I had $10,000 that I'd made from YouTube, and I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to invest. I didn't know where to put it. So I just sent it to my dad to like hold for me. And he's like, that was the first time he ever said, "I'm proud of you." And he was a great dad, super loving, but he never told me he was proud of me. And the 10 grand was what made him finally proud. So that was when I guess I'd made it in his eyes.
Wow.
And how long was that, like, when you started your YouTube channel? How long did it take?
I think that meant a lot to your dad because it proves that you were able to do something for yourself, accumulate a large amount of money, and instead of spending that money, you gave it to him for safekeeping because you trust him financially, and of course he's your father. So, man, that is a great signal that you're doing well for yourself. So, yeah, that's awesome.
You to make that 10 grand.
So here's the thing. Before I started YouTube, I was trying to write books. So I was like working in kitchens for probably 4 or 5 years before YouTube even started. And then the YouTube thing, that was probably 3 years. So like all told, it was about 7 or 8 years on the grind before I actually made money.
Really?
Yeah.
And were you doing, what kind of content were you doing at first? Was it kind of similar?
Yeah, it was like really man on the streety. but with like a lot of bits written in. I started in Vegas, so we do like interview episodes out on the strip in Vegas, and I had 10 subscribers. People would do an interview with me and they'd be all excited, like, where can I see this? And I'd give them the channel name. They look at it and you can just see the disappointment wash over their face. Like, man, I just spent 15 minutes with this jack off for making a clip that nobody is going to see.
But they saw your potential. That's why they asked to see your channel, because they assumed you had a lot of subscribers because they saw your potential, Danny. Okay? And look where you are now. So, look, that's pretty motivating to know that you felt discouraged at one point because, look, man, you're doing great. So that's cool. It gives me motivation to keep going. I'm at 1,400 subscribers, and I want to get to 1 million, ladies and gentlemen. So please, like, comment, and subscribe to your boy today. It's a blessing to my career. A blessing. Thank you. Back to the video.
Beer appreciate.
God.
We did give him beer. So we got people, we roped him in and just gave him beers.
What was like your first viral video?
There were a couple that went kind of viral on Facebook, but here's the thing: is like a Facebook and any kind of short form audience is fleeting. So the first one that actually gained traction on YouTube, which, as you probably know, is like the dominant platform where if your YouTube's popping, everything else kind of pops. I went based back to my high school reunion and just gave a speech that was just a disastrous speech where I was trying to roast all my former classmates and the cheerleaders. And they didn't think it was funny. They didn't think it was funny.
We
played it on Adam Carolla, though. We watched that clip back. And I love Adam Carolla. He was like my childhood hero. And he was laughing at my jokes. So objectively, they are funny. Because Adam Carolla, his taste, you can probably take that to the bank. But Jen Romano, one of the cheerleaders, she thought I was a real
Really?
Yeah.
What about now with the clout? I mean, is she coming around?
Her and I are friends. We actually met, like, afterwards. We hugged it up. But like some of the people there still hate me because, yeah. But clout is I don't know. Clout is, that's another thing. Listen,
speaking of clout, Danny Mullen and Leo, they made an excellent move. They got Clavicular on their YouTube and on the podcast too. And that was before Clavicular really blew up. So they got a real fresh perspective and like, dude, they bought that stock when it was low, man. And now, listen, I hope Clavicular, doesn't act big time around him now because he should really link back up and, make another looks maxing video because that was amazing. All right, that video was awesome. But I hope Clav is still friends with the crew. But we know how cocky he is, and we know how big time he probably thinks he is, and he is. He's popping. But let's get back to it.
36 now. Once you get to your mid-30s, like that's when you start to be able to see over the hill, and you start to see people in your family falling off the edge of the world, as it were. Like you start to see death, and you start to see like, hey, it's the other cars on the roller coaster are going click, 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 click. The ones, my grandparents and my parents, I'm next up, and you start to like become more in touch with your own mortality. And then when that starts happening, like I guess I just started realizing like how much of an illusion any kind of internet success is. And you can probably be just as happy meditating in a forest and living in a cabin off the grid as you can being wildly successful. And I just read the Matthew Perry biography. That's the most successful an actor can be. #1 movie and TV show at the same time. The guy was miserable.
Yeah.
Miserable. So there's no correlation between clout and happiness and respect or whatever.
Are there ever times where you feel like maybe there's a different, even though you're obviously successful in this career, where there's a different career that you'd be happier in or you wish you took?
I'd say sometimes I envy people who have the stability of just working a job where they don't have to like go and hunt for their meals. Because like if I'm not out grinding content, I don't get paid. And so like I have to pay all my guys who work for me, and then if there's anything left over, I make that. So it's tough. It's a lot of work to get that apparatus, that machine fired up. So sometimes I'm jealous of the guy who goes to work and gets a paycheck. And doesn't matter. Like, he's not stressed. Like, the CEO and the management is stressing out about growing the business. He doesn't care. He's getting a paycheck. And if the company goes out of business, he goes somewhere else and he gets another
But
paycheck.
guess what, Danny?
So sometimes
Listen. The only person that can fire you is YouTube. And that's very unlikely, although I know they're shadow banning you quite hard. But your whack history is finna pop off and make you some money. I'm sure about that. But you're basically your own boss. When you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, you are not your own boss. Your boss isn't even the boss. They have a boss, and they have a boss, and they have a boss, and they have a boss. And yes, the responsibility isn't upon us to grow the business, but we have a different responsibility just to maintain stability and maintain our role at that company and grow at that company, ideally. So really, I mean, look, there's pros and cons to everything. It really is.
envy that, but that goes away quickly because I love what I do and I feel like I'm made for it.
You are, dude. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, bro. But so yeah, that's like a short-lived thing I'll think sometimes when I'm going through a rough patch.
Yeah, I could imagine, man.
And you can just look at, if you just or have a stable job and you invest your money well, you can get pretty damn wealthy.
Yeah.
Because that's like the philosophy is always like the way to get rich is start a business, and that's the only way. But if you just invest aggressively, like a guy with a mediocre job can do quite well.
Yeah.
So that's another thing about stability that's kind of nice that people don't realize.
What's like the scariest movie you've ever seen? You have like
I
into
watched
horror?
the Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
That's a scary movie where they're on an Indian burial ground and he just axe murders his family.
That was Ryan Reynolds?
I think so. Yeah, that was Zoolander, right?
Wait a minute.
No, not Zoolander. No, Van Wilder.
Van Wilder.
Yeah. That's Ryan
Reynolds.
Yeah. Zoolander. Yeah. That's a scary movie. He's in one of the Amityville Horrors, unless I'm tripping right now.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to watch it. I love him.
Yeah, I am not a horror guy. I don't watch horror films. That's one of the
Me
few
neither.
that I watched at a sleepover when I was younger, and it's
Why would you watch a film that is designed to scare you, designed to increase cortisol in your brain? Your brain doesn't know that that's fiction. Your brain really thinks there's a dude with a knife pulling up. Okay? So you're just traumatizing yourself for fun. Yeah.
scared the shit out of me.
Is that why you don't watch them, or is it because you think they're stupid?
Yeah, I do think it's an unpleasant sensation. It's sort of like I never got warheads or sour candies as a kid.
Nah.
It's like, why not walk in, like, why am I paying to have a negative emotion?
Yeah.
It's like giving you $10 to kick me in the nuts after we're done podcasting.
Right.
I don't get a thrill from that personally. I imagine you're the opposite.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like was really afraid growing up, with the house and all that. The experiences that I had, it was terrifying. Like, it felt like there was like always someone like watching me and like unwelcoming me in the house and all this. But then at the same time, like, we would go out and we would look for it. Like we would go to like a cemetery, like a haunted spot,
Never
look for ghosts and stuff. My cousin was into it.
Never go out there looking for evil or looking for a demon. Because trust me, you don't got to look far. They're everywhere. And that's why we need Christ to help us through each situation, encounter, and event in our lives. He's going to take care of us. Okay? But look, don't go out looking for evil. It's so easy to find, you'd be shocked.
And so we'd go and we'd do that. And I remember like we had my friend Luis, who's also now passed away.
The Sandrine. Are you good?
Dude, she
Bro.
got me, man.
She got Luis too, man.
Well, this was, I mean, he was in just, once I left that city, man, he went off the rails. But anyway, he had like this grandfather who he said that when he died, he saw him as like a ghost or something like that. So when we went to the cemetery, supposedly on this day at the cemetery, there was, every day on the anniversary of when this baby died, supposedly you would see like orbs if you took photos around her grave.
Sounds familiar. That sounds really familiar. We went to a cemetery in Kansas. I did have another paranormal experience similar to that. Yeah.
I want to hear that after this.
Yeah.
So we go to this place, we take pictures, nothing happens there. We don't see any orbs in the photos like we're supposed to, nothing like this. Then we get to my house, this house was always like ominous and creepy anyway. But we're sitting on the couch. There's the couch, and then there's my brother's room who had like a sliding glass door. He wasn't home. He was at a friend's house, and we hear like ruffling around in his room, and we both look, and no one's in there, but it's pitch black. And then we hear someone call Luis's name, like Luis, like just like that. Not while we're looking at each other. So I know it wasn't him because him and I were like looking at each other in shock that we heard moving around in my brother's room. So we bolted to my mom's room, and then we're just like, I'm like, Mom, I'm staying the night at Luis's house tonight. Like, this is like terrifying.
Damn,
so that was, yeah. What happened with you? What was this?
That's up here. When your own residents with you, dude. That's,
it was horrible.
That's not fun.
But now, to answer your question, though, now I guess that's kind of why I leaned into it, where I was just like, man, I don't want to like be afraid of anything. Like, let me like, like lean into the fear. And then it got to a point too, when I was doing the episodes, and I started doing them again, but back when I first started doing them like 2 years ago, I kind of got bored with it, where I was just like, this is what it is. Like, these spirits are stuck in purgatory. It's like what I've kind of come to the conclusion to. Not a definite conclusion, but that's what a lot of them say. I'm stuck, help. A lot of them say that they took their own lives, or they had a drug overdose, or they things like that.
Purgatory is a belief in Catholic ideology that, depending on our experiences here on earth, according to our sin and our faithfulness to God, we have to go to purgatory before we get into heaven. But if we go to purgatory, we know we're getting into heaven. But apparently most spirits do have to go to purgatory, and each person that goes there spends a different amount of time there, sentenced by God. So it's basically just like, I look at it like a sauna where you cleanse out the extra sin, so then you can pull up to the pearly gates, All right, let's get it.
Like they're stuck in purgatory for this reason.
Damn. That's the theory of the ghost hunting scene, huh?
Yeah, well, in the Catholic scene.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that's interesting. It's just because so much of the theology surrounding Christianity is so man-made.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus didn't say anything about purgatory or limbo or how to take communion or anything like that. That was all like an invention. So I'm skeptical about stuff like that. But the idea that there is some sort of place between earth and heaven, or earth and wherever people go, where you get temporarily trapped for some reason or the other, I guess that makes sense. But then again, anything makes sense because nothing makes sense.
Right.
Because it's just so weird. Like, everything about our existence is fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
And crazy. And there doesn't seem to be any rational reason for us to be here.
And to touch on what you said, like, I feel the same way with, with Christianity and Catholicism, where a lot of it's like man-made. I'm like, I kind of just want to hear what Jesus had to say.
Yeah.
Because like, if you look at society right now, all these things that happen, so many different people have different perspectives on it, right? Like, people from the left will say this happened, people from the right will say this happened, when in reality, maybe it's something in the middle, So that's why I kind of take some of it with a grain of salt. But then when I had like some of these things happen to me, that's kind of when I was just like, okay, I'm still skeptical.
Yeah.
But just to be safe, I'm going to like, repent for my sins before I do an episode, so I'm on the right side of God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing, just in case.
That's the history book that I was telling you about. Like, I listened to the Renaissance.
It shouldn't be just in case. You should know that you did wrong, and you don't feel good about it. You need to apologize. You need to ask for forgiveness, repent. So, I mean, you doing it just haphazardly and with 1 foot in and 1 foot out, that's not going to do you much good. Okay? But it's a start. And when you start walking on the path of God, all of a sudden, the path becomes a little bit more advanced, a little bit easier to take a step. All of a sudden, you're going down the perfect road. So just with a little bit of faith, it can change a lot of things and level you up, for sure.
It's these big tomes, and like they cover different periods. I think there's 10 of them. It's 𝓀𝓪𝓬𝓬𝓱𝓲𝓷𝓰, Story of Civilization. They did the Renaissance book. I was going to say episode, volume. I don't know. But in that, this is my new Harry Potter, by the way. This is what I read now. But in that one, it talks about the guys in the Renaissance who were out like doing boy fuck and like not like John Wayne Gacy style. Well, I guess fucking boys consent is not really the right word because they're underage. So whatever
Oh,
the
actual
guys,
boys.
yeah, like I mean, they were trying to because the Renaissance was the rebirth of like the reappreciation of Greek and Roman culture in Italy, and that's what the Greeks and the Romans did. A lot of boys.
Look, say what you want about Danny, but he knows his history. This man knows his history, okay? And if you were up on the lore of Danny Mullen, you'd already know that he has a bachelor's degree in history. All right, let's get it.
So that was some of the guys like Da Vinci for sure was like a boy.
Really?
Yeah, like he was gay, probably, but he always was surrounded by an escort of like young boys who helped him paint and shit. But all those guys who lived these like pagan classical lifestyles, most of them ended up repenting toward the end of their lives.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah, because I mean, it was still the church, the Christian or the Catholic Church was still super powerful back then. So yeah, like they would
Danny Mullen, the Catholic Church is powerful today. And we want you to join us. Please join us, Danny. It's your calling, you know it. Okay? It's my goal to convert Danny Mullen. I, Jacob B. Flexen, will convert Danny James Bryan Mullen into a Catholic. Mark my words. I will have a great part in that conversion, I assure you.
It up in life, and then they'd start getting scared. There's an interesting quote that I always repeat that I think you'd
I don't
find
know how,
interesting.
but
It's
I'm gonna try.
the rich, and when I say the rich, I mean like rich civilizations or rich people, either one. The rich seek heaven on earth, and the poor seek heaven in the afterlife. That dictates the flow of a lot of history.
Now listen to this. If you exalt yourself, you will be humbled. But if you humble yourself, you will be exalted. Okay? Always stay humble. I know my name is Jacob B. Flexen, but if you know my lore, at one point my name was Jacob B. Humble because I had to silence my ego. I had to care more about others. Stop caring about money, greed, coolness, swag, none of that. And just cared more about my family and God, all the important stuff, and my wife. For real, you know? Gotta be thankful for the things that matter. All right, let's get it.
Rich societies are always going to be hedonistic and you're not going to be able to get them to behave very well. And then poor societies are very stoic. They have big families, a lot of kids. They work hard. Their lives are simple because they're looking forward to heaven and the afterlife.
I mean, that rings true with the Epstein stuff. I mean, I don't know what you think about that.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Have you heard about like the ball worship?
Yes, yeah. All that shit. That's
Yeah, the
example.
devil. Dude, that's
Yeah,
weird.
I mean, it's insane because I mean, he has a bank account named Ball, which is insane.
Yeah.
You know, and then just like him, a lot of people think he was just doing things with.
Okay, this dude, his name is Jake Thomas. Bro, I feel like your knowledge database comes from the first paragraph of a BuzzFeed article. That's all I gotten from you this freaking podcast, dog. Danny is intelligence mogging you right now. I hope you know that. I truly hope you know that. You should never get intelligence mogged on the interview you're performing, okay? Conducting.
Like underage girls, like barely underage girls, this kind of thing. But it was so much deeper than that. It was like he was literally like, from what I heard, sacrificing children, and he had like, it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't gotten too deep into the Epstein files. I've just been busy. But yeah, I mean, definitely, dude. Those guys are the excellent example. I mean, Epstein, for all the horrible things he did, was a really smart, well-connected guy.
Of course.
Ooh. But when you use that for evil, look what it does, my brother. Look what it does, Daniel.
Who rubbed shoulders with like, I mean, if he weren't the world's most famous file, he'd be like the world's most famous networker. Because that guy, it's amazing, like where his tentacles reach to. He was at Bitcoin conferences, like right after Bitcoin launched. He had friends who were like elite scientists at various universities, politicians, money runners, everybody he knew. And that guy knew all these people and had all this knowledge. And the conclusion he came to was, fuck it. It's all about worshiping demons and kids and just living it up. Like that was the conclusion that guy came to.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of something I always thought about too. Is like you hear about
No,
the theories.
I don't think it was the conclusion he came to. I think he went down a dark, dark path. He was completely influenced by the devil and the devil's motives. He basically was allowed the devil to live through him. He got so deep into sin and wrongdoing and manipulation, and just like he got in so deep he couldn't turn back. And he went in so deep his heart actually froze over, so he could never truly repent, because if he were to repent, that would be way too much trauma for him to come to terms with, to understand that he is at fault. He probably wanted to blame anyone and everyone that he could for what he did. But at the end of the day, all we have to do is we can only blame ourselves. So we need to keep ourselves accountable at all times and stay mindful of the path that we're currently going down. Because depending on what path you go down, that determines who is influencing you. Can I get an amen?
The people selling their souls to the devil or sacrificing things to the devil and this kind of thing. I've never heard, and you know, maybe there are, but I've never heard one person say like, I tried to sell my soul to the devil and it didn't work. I've never heard that. Have you?
Because people aren't emo albums. What is that? I sold my soul to the devil and it didn't work. Bro, that sounds like Blink 182 and My Chemical Romance just came together for a collab to make that. What are you on about, my boy?
You?
No, that's there's a premise there. There's the old Saturday Night Live sketch. I don't know if you saw that, where a guy tries to sell a soul to the devil to write a hit song, and the devil is Will Ferrell. He comes in and he's got a guitar. He's like,
Yeah, that's accurate.
I'm going to show you how to get to the top of the charts. And then the devil's a terrible guitar player and can't teach the guy a hit song. And the guy's like, you know what, devil? I think I'm all right. I don't need your help. That was a great SNL skit. But
Y'all know that song? Like the fiddler versus the devil, where they do a violin contest to see who's the better musician to, I guess, for his soul or something. They were fighting over his soul. Y'all know that song, right? Come on. I can't be going crazy. That's a song. And it was in Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock. An amazing game. That's shout out to all my gamers out there.
no, I've never heard that. I mean, I don't know anybody who's tried to make a deal with the devil. They haven't mentioned it to me. Do you?
I don't.
Santarine?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the most ideal thing to mention. I mean, it's just not exactly a good look. You know, HR might get on to you, okay? If they hear you're a Satanist, you might be getting a call from HR, okay? And depending upon how woke the company is, you might be in trouble. Because if they're not extremely woke, they're not going to like Satanists. I'm sorry. They're not going to be that accepting of you, all right? Yeah, it's something you best keep to yourself.
Be a girl, probably.
Probably.
Do they have a devil in Santeria, or do they just have like an evil chicken?
I don't know, man. I don't know like the basis of her belief system. You know, I'll never really understand like the people that are into witchcraft and that kind of thing. But I guess it's along the same lines, right? They're looking for power, they're looking for a result, they're looking for something.
Yeah.
So what was that story you were going to tell me? You said there was something else that.
You know, it wasn't that crazy. We went to one of the many haunted graveyards in America. It was outside of Wichita, Kansas, which I guess does have a pretty active, like, paranormal ghost hunting scene. And we went out there with a local medium who took us to a grave. And this one, much like our Myrtle Plantation video, we just turned into a complete charade. And
That one was funny.
Leo told her that I didn't even know what he was talking about. I was pretending to communicate with the spirits, and Leo told the lady that the guy in the grave was my gay lover in high school.
And then he died.
And then so she was trying to like facilitate us coming back together.
That was legendary.
It was an absurd.
Wait, so she believed it?
Yeah.
So she's not a psychic.
Yeah. That
was
I guess we proved her fib. But this one was definitely not as well put together as the Myrtle Plant. This was one little bit in a longer video, so it was kind of just
I want to watch it.
You know, half. But yeah, I didn't feel the fear from that one. I
That
didn't feel like the
video made-
spirits cared enough. They could tell the bit was so low effort. They're like, let's not even bother haunting this piece of
Maybe. Well, dude, I'm looking forward to you coming on an episode. Like you said, we could do the joint episode
Yeah.
if you're
That'd
interested.
be sick.
But I really appreciate you coming on, man, and telling me your stories.
Let's go find some banshees together.
Dude, let's do it, man. And I want you to bring the same Danny Mullen energy. I love the chaotic, like funny energy.
Okay.
I think, yeah, don't, I mean, we still
Chaotic,
want to actually
funny
that's the thing. The more we antagonize him, the more.
This dude is not a fan, bro. He doesn't know nothing about Danny Mullen lore. Bruh, this is disrespectful. That's just disrespectful.
We're going to get.
All right. Cool, man. Awesome interview there. As we can see, look. All right. But as we can see, ladies and gentlemen, Danny Mullen is on a good path. Well, he's been on a good path, but look, now he's on an excellent and blessed path. All right? This is stage 1 of his Catholic transformation. I'm going to stay tuned, and I'm going to pray for him too. And Leo, you need to go to confession. It's been a while, my boy. But anyways, look, thank you all so much for watching me react to this Danny Mullen interview. Look, I'm a longtime fan. Saw them do live comedy in Austin, Texas. They're a hoot and a holler. Peak entertainment. But listen, make sure you give your boy Jacob B. Flexing a chance. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow my journey. And look, I want to see you all in the next live stream tomorrow. We might go on a skateboarding journey. But please, like, comment, subscribe. And remember, you don't believe in yourself? Well, God did, and God does. Yeah!